That means it is time. It is time for another edition of the Thursday Throwdown. Have no fear. Have no fear. Your savior is here. The icon, the symbol, Mr. 239, the most polarizing man in 239 history. X to the D to the A to the L to the Y is back. 4 weeks, you say. 4 weeks, kind of a long time. What happened? Where have you been? Well, to be completely frank, I wasn't getting paid what I deserved. The biggest tip that I can give each and every one of you out there is to know your worth. And simply put, 239 was not paying me enough. So I made them go back to the drawing board, back to that war room until I got the amount of paper that I so rightfully deserved. And once they made it right, I pulled a Le'Veon Bell and I find my way back here to the Throwdown. But we've missed a lot. Savior's here, guys. Savior's here. And with me is Pale Poner, who always shows up. Pale, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. We got the draft coming up. I think it's the most exciting time of the year. Monday. It came quickly, I think. Anyway, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to get talking about this draft, and maybe a little bit of finals still.
Yeah, here's the thing is obviously on my hiatus, the whole ship was sinking very, very quickly. So Cortez didn't get his due. Cortez was part of the reason that the ship was sinking. So we're going to give that team a little bit of due right now. Shout out to him. First of all, when you look at the Season 8 champions, and then we're going to talk on the Season 9 stuff. When you look at the Season 8 champs, man, simply put, there's a roster there that wasn't necessarily one where it really jumped off the page for a long time, but they were winning games. Then you go out and you make an absolute trape for Brick City. You get Brick City back in that deal, which I know Cortez in some little fantasy land was like justifying it in his brain. Like, oh yeah, it was fair. Like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't fucking fair. Not even the slightest. So you get Brick City in the trade. Any lineup that sees Brick City, Tom FTW, Wizzy War really stepped up on D. C-Dub was a monster all year. BC Renton kept the bench nice and fucking warm for the boys. And Tomahawk arguably had the best season of his career, which I find funny because, Tomahawk, he's a big fan of the show. He's a big fan of the icon. He's a smart guy. But when you look at Tomahawk, man, I've been hearing rumblings that he's like, oh, I wanted to take a season off net and try some other shit. Tomahawk, let me give you some advice, man. Just play goalie, man. Just play goalie. A wise man once told me, Daily, just play D. Play goalie. Trust me. It's your thing. Just stick with that. Do that. Don't do something else. But when I look at this roster, man, it was constructed really, really nicely. Wizzy War being the wild card. I think Cortez knew in his back pocket if he had to, he would slide himself back to D and maybe disguise Wizzy up front. But he didn't have to do that. Wizzy War played pretty good on D. I'm not saying he was a game-changing. I'm not saying he was amazing, but I'm just saying he was good enough to get the job done. I know some other variables came into play there. Pogs was missing. And he did this whole Twitter thing where he brought his Xbox to Florida, but it wasn't a thing, but it was a thing. It was entertaining. But if Pogs was a true G, man, he would have played in that series. He had his damn box. So whatever it takes.
Well, but I think he played in 6 of the 7 games.
Oh, did he?
They had their whole lineup for 6 of the 7 games.
Okay, yeah. Well, I retract what I said. I mean, you still would have gotten the job done, but that's fine. You're up 3 games. Was it 3 games the one they were up?
3-0, they were up.
Oh, no, it's a Pale Poner situation. You know what that feels like, man.
No, I was up 3-1. See, we won one in between.
Oh, that makes it better.
Yeah.
That makes it better. Oh, no. It technically does make it better, man. Oh, no. So, listen, man, shout out to the Wildcats. I'm happy for Cortez. Everybody shit on him, didn't think he was going to be a great captain. But, the icon sees true talent. And I was obviously a supporter of Cortez, so I basically knew that he was going to win. I allowed him to win, but we're not going to get into that right now because we have Season 9 on the horizon. Let's go over a couple key things. Season 9 draft, Pale, give the details, give the info. It's going to be on October 8th, I believe, and then we're going to have a pre-draft show. Yeah, go ahead.
Monday night, we're doing our draft show, I think, at 9 o'clock, and then the draft is actually starting at 10 o'clock. So we have a pre-draft show at 9, and then the draft show itself is going to be at 10 o'clock. You should be able to view those on 239 Twitch. I think we're going back to the 239 Twitch to stream that. It may be on the YouTube. We'll have further details on that. We'll make a big forum post about it. But yeah, we're going to have a bunch of people on the pre-draft show. I think it's going to be me, Cortez, and Sober doing the actual draft show with the live draft board, and we'll just be going through the draft itself.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing is that we always have the big pre-draft show. It is going to be on Twitch. I believe that you're going to follow Snipe. I got to confirm all this. It'll be a post. You're going to follow Sniper on Twitch, Sniper2070, or maybe it's the 239 one. Either way, you're going to have the draft board on there, and then we're going to have probably 3 panels. It seems to be the number that works best. I don't have any confirmed names for it yet, but I know there's some rumblings as to who it's going to be. Possibly a person that got retired this offseason. Like I said, I would. Esoteric, shout out to him, man. Hope you're enjoying the sunset. Hope you are enjoying the beaches and the golf and the Krispy Kreme donuts. You definitely had a great career and you deserve that, man. So shout out to Esoteric. He's done by my hands. So nice knowing you, bud. So anyways, let's get into this, Pale. What was the trade that went through? We've had one trade so far. It's been a pretty quiet offseason. I think the new game has a lot to do with that because I think people are nervous as to how people are going to correlate into the new game. So what was the one trade that happened? Who was it and who was involved?
Yeah, so it was Cosmic and Ability were the 2 captains that made the trade, and it was Ability moving up from number 15, which was a 2nd round pick, to number 7, which was Cosmic's 1st round pick. And obviously Cosmic drops from 7 to 15, and then they exchanged like 3rd and 4th round picks. Like Ability dropped from the 3rd round into the 4th round. Cosmic moved up from the 4th to the 3rd. So Cosmic effectively has 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and then a 5th. And Ability has 2 firsts, a 3rd, and then 2 fifths.
I think the trade makes sense for both guys, and here's why. First and foremost, Ability obviously isn't the same caliber skill set as Cosmic. So Cosmic having what pick was it? 6, 7, something like
7.
that. Cosmic Fade having pick 7, he can ultimately value himself in that spot. So for Cosmic to keep pick 7, I mean, he could have and really built a nice squad. Maybe he doesn't like a guy there. Maybe he thinks, because I think a guy like Cosmic's probably going to take an elite D-man there. He plays with a lot of good D-men, cough, cough. So he probably wants to get a good defenseman. And if he doesn't think that he can get one at 7, I don't think him keeping this pick makes sense. He's going to be the catalyst of an offense. Moving down makes sense for him to build a more balanced squad around his skill set. Ability, on the other hand, I think that Ability needs that elite top tier talent guy that he could build around via Brick City season number 1, things like that. So I ultimately think that I think this trade worked for both teams. Ability going back in round 4 or 5 or whatever that was, I think is a little bit minute because now he has 2 first round picks, if I'm saying this correctly, or at least, a 1st and a 2nd. I think that this is a good building block for him. I think ultimately at the end of the day, this is what he needed to do. I think he realized that because when he won the cup with Victoria's Secret in season number 5, he had Cosmic Fade, who's a 1st rounder, and he had Brick City, who's a 1st rounder. So I think he realizes that can be a recipe for success as long as you get it right. He's got a hit in the middle of his draft this year. The Tom FTWs of the world where he got in round 3 or 4, guys like that. He needs to have a hit, and he needs to hit in his late rounds as well, because as star power as you'll be, with 2 or 3 of those players, it's going to really, really hurt you with the couple 5th round picks. But league parity and the strength of the draft will definitely help a move like this. So I think the trade is actually great for both guys. Very rarely do we ever like, oh yeah, this is a great trade for everybody. I think that this was a good trade for both teams, and it made sense, which is the biggest thing. So nobody's going to be screaming trape or whatever after this. I think it was a good trade for both. So Pale Man, I saw that you put up a mock draft that was like immediately pwned within seconds of you putting it up. I want to go through. I want to do a mock draft. We do one every year. Usually you or I will post one like on the site, but I figure since it's just you and I on the show, probably have a little bit of a shorter show tonight. I figure why not? Let's go through a round or two and kind of hammer some things out and see what we can get right. So let's dive in, man. Grish, first-time captain here in 239, but not a first-time captain in, in leagues. He's been doing it for a long time. He's a solid player himself, arguably a first, second-round talent, probably first-round talent in most draft pools. And he's got the first overall pick. And I think he's all but confirmed this, so there's really no mystery behind this, but he's taken Crazy Legs. Now, the thing with Crazy Legs, I played with Crazy Legs in a MHL Memorial tournament, and he was a really solid player. But like screaming, jumping off the page as the #1 pick.
Oh, you just muted for me. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Unfortunately, my headset took a shit. So hopefully I can get Pale in here. I'm going to apologize in advance. It's probably going to be echoey. I got to get a new headset. We were fucking with it before the draft. It was fucked up. Or before the show, it was fucked up. So hopefully you guys can hear me now. I'm not sure where we dropped. So I'm going to get back into it with Grish and Crazy Legs. I don't necessarily know if this is the #1 pick, in my opinion. I don't think a guy coming in as a rookie should be drafted here. I've played in another league with him. I think I've said this before. I've played in another league with him. Give me one. I gotta get Pale back in here. This is a fucking mess. Hate it. Hold on one sec. Hockey Rob. Email. Oh my God, I can't spell. Everyone knows that. All right. Gmail. There he is. So hopefully we can get him back in here. So again, I don't necessarily know if he is the top pick. I don't know if he's the guy, especially a guy who's primarily left wing only. That can be a little bit problematic. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I am trying to get Pale back in here. Hold on. I sent you an invite. Oh my God. This is on Pale Poner, boys. Hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. So again, boys, this is what it's called, Know Your Worth. I'm already on the phone. I've already sent the email off to the people of 239. Get me a new headset, because you know what? This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't work under these conditions. Pale, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you? I can't hear you, Pale.
You can't hear me at all?
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, what a mess. We're going to wait for Pale to try and figure this out here. Can you hear me, Pale?
Yes.
Pale can hear me. I can't hear Pale. Somebody in 239 land, let me know if you can hear Pale, because I can't. Sober, I'm looking at you. You good?
Check
Sounds
back
fine.
one,
All right, but he can't hear Pale. Dude, nobody can hear you, Pale. So I'm going to fucking ramble on into pick #2. So I was talking about Surprise Me before all the technical difficulty. I think this is a season for Surprise Me that he needs to come back and show that he's not a flash in the pan. But here's the problem is that I say flash in the pan. He had 3 good seasons, but here's the problem. He's set up and destined to be the number 2 overall pick. He's set up and destined to go to Pogs. So really, he's going to end up in a situation that he's familiar with. He's going to end up in a situation that he's comfortable with, and he's still going to have this tag on him saying, oh, a guy who can only produce with his friends. Because here's the reality. Pogs at 2, that team is definitely 100% without a shadow of a doubt going to compete. Fact of the matter is the thing. So I'm interested to see how that is, moving forward. But I don't know. Oh, he can hear. Hey, Pale, he can hear both of us, he says.
Yeah,
I can't hear you. This has got to be the most ignorant thing ever. Hold on. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate everything about it. Hold on one sec. That ain't it. That ain't it.
Check.
That's it.
1 2 1 2.
Pale, can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How about now?
Yep.
How about now? No?
Yep.
And I still can't hear you. This is going to be quite the mess. But Pale Poner, we've done crazier shit in our day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you up for the question. And we're going to talk about picks. We're not going to be able to banter back and forth because I literally can't fucking hear you. Didn't change your speakers from your headset. You tell
Are you able
Rich
to put your microphone back on?
And Rich,
the microphone.
Kindly lick my balls because that is what I just did. So I did change it. That's what I was clicking around and fumbling with for the last, minutes. So I did. I usually pay people to do this, so that's kind of the thing. Let me try this one more time. This is ignorant as fuck. So, Pale, go ahead and talk. What do you think about surprise me at number 2 to Pogs?
I think that's a pretty easy pick for Pogs. They've won a cup together. Pogs and Surprise Me came into the league together, basically, or Pogs brought Surprise Me in, and that's a no-brainer pick for me. I don't think that there's any way that Pogs doesn't go with Surprise Me at pick number 2. Back to you.
And I think you're done. So moving on, did I Soldier Up? DJ he's out now, right? He was the one who got dropped.
No more I Soldier Up. No more.
Okay, so basically what's happening with that is that now Joey Stopa has moved into pick 3. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So Joey Stopa has pick number 3. Everybody's leaning Bilal on this pick. I haven't seen Joey on the new game. I think if Joey has improved offensively and maybe is a number 2 guy,
Fuck. Now I can't hear you.